Hi, Captain Mike here with you again. I want to show you guys how to make a really easy Carpenter Bee Trap. Now, this is not my idea. I saw a couple of people who used this technique on YouTube, and I said, I can improve on that a little bit and maybe offer a little bit more information than they offered. But this is a Carpenter Bee Trap, and you know, it's got a little thing here. You just kind of hold it up and, you know, the carpenter bees get in it. So anyway, I'm having a heck of a time with it. It's all made out of recycled material. There's nothing that you have to go to the store and buy here, you know, unless you just have to go buy a 4x4. Now, the Carpenter Bee Traps that I made before were made out of, it took actually 6 pieces of wood. I used 1x and I cut them and I nailed them, and they had a void on the inside, and I put a top and a bottom, and then I, you know, fixed it where I could screw this plastic bottle into it. This is the great part, because you can use all of your plastic bottles. But here's what you're going to need. You're going to need a hammer. You're going to need a couple of bits. You're going to need a 1/2-inch bit, or you can use a spade bit, or you can use a standard drill bit. You're going to need a 1 1/8-inch bit, an X-Acto knife, a pencil, maybe a marker if it helps you. A tri-square, maybe a tape measure, and you're going to need a bottle, and you're going to need a block of wood. This is a 4x4, treated 4x4. You're going to need a drill and a glue gun. Now, if you have a drill press, this goes a lot easier. Those of you that have a drill press and know how to use it, all the things that I show you manually here, just flip them over to go through your drill press, and you don't have to guess as much as I normally would if you just kind of eyeballing it. The first thing you want to do is you want to cut your 4x4. I do 5 inches. Do whatever you want to do, but I just did them at 5 inches. And then you'll take your drill bit, and you want to mark it about 3 inches, so you'll know kind of where you're at as you're drilling down on it. Yeah, this is a no-brainer, but I just put it 3 inches, piece of tape, so I can know what I'm doing. And chuck this puppy up, and then you will come over here to your block. Now, what I do is I determine what's going to be the top and what's going to be the bottom, and I find the center. And you all know how to find the center. Just X it out, just like that, on both top and the bottom. And then I find out, I'm using the bottom as a reference. I draw me a line about 1.5 inches. It doesn't have to be exact, but you want to be able to kind of center it up. You know, you might even want to, you know, take your tape measure and 3.5 inches, boom. You might want to do that a couple of times all the way around it. You need to do it on all 4 sides, and we'll show you why in just a minute. So that's all done. That's dead center of all that. Now I'm going to get into just a little bit of technical stuff for you with you here. You're going to be drilling some holes in this, and one of the holes is straight down, right down through the middle. And the other holes are in the sides, and they're at angles. And people want to know why they have to be at an angle and why they have to be a particular size. Well, they go in at an angle to the bottom, so that when the carpenter bee goes in that hole and goes into the channel in the middle, it can't see any light except what's shining through this bottle, up through this big hole. It's going to go towards the light. So as it goes in the hole, and the hole, by the way, is just about the size that a carpenter bee will drill into your 2x4s in your shed before the woodpeckers start trying to get the grubs out. They're going to drill this really swell, neat hole, and that's the size hole that you want. It's about 1/2 inch. And so that's the reason we drill the holes at an angle, okay? And there you go. So the first thing you want to do after you've got all your little marks on this thing, turn it upside down, take your drill, and you want to drill down right down the middle about 3 inches. Okay, that's 3 inches, and the old lithium battery is about ready to go bad. Let me go get another lithium battery right quick. Be right back. Got the hole drilled in the middle. The reason that I did the hole is 1 1/8 inches. The reason I did at that size is that just happens to be the size the top of that bottle is, and you're going to glue that in there, and we'll get to that in a minute. So now you've got to drill your holes. This is your bottom. You want to drill the holes this way, and you want them to intersect that. The angle is not critical. The angle is not critical. I'm going to go ahead and use this drill, but you can use a spade bit if you wish. It's just up to you. And you just hold this down, put it on there, get it started. You can feel it when it goes through. It's that simple. Okay, we have all our holes. And of course there's some debris in there. We get that out later. We won't spend valuable video time doing that or cleaning up the holes. But now you have this hole, you have your bee holes. The bees go up in it. They can't see anything, but the light comes through here. And boom, they go up in it. So now what we're going to do is we're going to fire up the old gun here. Okay, before we glue the bottle in, you're going to have to make a modification to the bottle. I leave the tip on it. I take my X-Acto knife very carefully, don't cut yourself, cut that out. It comes out very easy. It looks just like that. Clean it up real nice, you know, so it will look good. And then when you get to that particular point with the lid still on it, you're ready to glue it into this right here. What I do is I take my glue gun and I just put a liberal amount of glue right around the edge. You don't want to get it so that you can't unscrew this, but just put plenty of glue, hot glue around it. Set it in there just like that. It don't take but a minute and it will set right up. Once it's all set up, then you can take the top off. And this is what's so great. You just, when the bottle's full of bees, throw it away. Now, before you put this cap in, if you want to do the top, you can, but let's just say, like me, you went ahead and you put that in there. Then you turn it over, and all you need for the top is a fence nail, a horseshoe nail. You can use a cup hook if you wish, or if you don't have any of that, and all you've got's a rusty old nail, you can drive a nail in and bend it over. I mean, you know, it's that simple, okay? You just need a pair of needle nose pliers if you're going to bend it over. You guys get my drift. But let's say that you do have some horseshoe nails. Center it up on your top X and tap it in. It's as simple as that. It's as simple as that. You now have a completed bee trap. Put the bottle back in. Now, you know, if you don't want to go to all the trouble with the gluing that I did with this part right here, with it being big, probably 1 inch and 1/16 bit would be better. That's probably more like the size of this. You have to experiment with the equipment that you have to get it exactly right, because you want the bottle, you want the top to fit in there so that it'll fit in there and the bees will go in. But that's all there is to it. Like I said, this is not my idea. My idea was a multi-pieced one. They were a lot more difficult to build. I like this idea. I wanted to explain why the holes were at an angle, and a lot of people use mason jars. I like the recyclable bottles better. That's just me. Now, one thing that I'm going to say, and we're through here, is please don't put any honey in this thing. It'll attract honeybees. We're not after honeybees. We're after carpenter bees. The occasional wasp that gets in there is perfectly okay. If a yellow jacket gets in there, that's fine. We're after carpenter bees, not honeybees. So don't put anything in here. The pheromones from the first bee you catch will attract other bees. So don't dump the bees out. Leave them in there. That is my trap, the way I make them now. And it's really simple. It's all used material, recycled material. So that's it. I'm Captain Mike. That's my bee trap. I'm out of here.